Here on the latest episode of Engineering Culture with Millard West baseball coach Steve Frey. Coach, thanks for joining me and doing this in between little kid camp stuff.
Yes.
Which is, baseball never stops.
No, From spring to summer with Legion, and a lot of our kids will play fall ball, and then it's almost time to get ready for spring again. So.
But you do a lot of winter stuff.
Yeah, a lot of lifting, and we do some spring conditioning workouts, and we'll start small groups, later in the fall. So it's almost kind of year round. How do you? This is a great question. As someone with young daughters, and you have a family too. Where's the balance? It's tough. You have to be able to put in a lot of time, more than what people think. But you just get used to it after a while. Your family has to be very understanding, and that's, I'm very appreciative of our family. It's just something we do for the kids because we, want to make them the best baseball player we can. So,
define Millard West Family is in the outfield there.
Yeah,
it's been there forever. Define that Millard West Family in quotes culture.
Yeah, well, when I first came here, that's the first thing I wanted to implement. And for us, it's we want everybody to understand that, it doesn't matter if you're a senior in the program, you're a freshman in the program, maybe you're a student manager. Everybody's important, and we want everybody to be part of that family. And I think with what we do with our workouts and just kind of doing everything together, it just kind of promotes that family culture, and you can kind of see it as those young guys come up to the varsity level that, it's everybody's trying to help each other out to accomplish that one goal at the end of the spring for us.
A good culture changes and adjusts, and there's always kind of movement to it.
Oh, absolutely.
But how do you make adjustments without breaking it up?
Well, I think we have certain expectations that we, have for the players, and a lot of them have different personalities, but we want them to understand that that's that personality we want to be part of our program. And but again, it goes back to those expectations that if you want to play here, this is what we expect of you, and it's very important that we get those kids to buy in, and we've been fortunate enough to be able to do that lately.
Keeping it current and relevant till every year you get older. How do you stay, current, relevant with this type of player in 2024? It clearly has changed since you even got here. Right?
Yes. I think it just goes back to just kind of what we do throughout the year, and even back to those expectations where, we're trying to make ourselves better as coaches. We're trying to give the players the best instruction to make them better. And I think besides the players learning, we learn from the players as well. And, we're a passionate coaching staff that is always trying to learn and prepare these kids for baseball and just life in general, I would say.
What behavioral expectations, I guess, are a part of the Millard West baseball culture?
I think it's more that we expect that the team is more important than just one person. And, I think if you can do that and get the players to understand that everybody plays a role, maybe it's not the role they want, but all roles are important. Whether it's a few at-bats or a few innings or a starter, that I think if everybody understands the role, that just, makes it, again, more of that family setting where everybody's trying to accomplish that one goal at the end of the year.
You won 3 of 5 state championships, or 3 state championships in 5 years. You've been in the last 5 state championship games. What's different about it's a one-game scenario? Because baseball, hey, man, it's every day. You play it basically every day. But that one-game scenario, winner take all, what's different about that?
Well, I think it's different the way we prepare a little bit. In the past, before they changed the format, you had to have a very deep pitching staff.
Right.
This, now with the new setup, you don't really have to have a deep pitching staff, but you have to have 2 or 3 quality starters. You have to be able to put some runs on the board, and not make mistakes, I guess, when it's most important. I think we do a good job of trying to get our players to understand that throughout the year, when we play so many games and the way we schedule our games, that every ground ball, every pitch is important, and it all comes down to one game at the end of the year, and you have to make sure you're prepared to come up with a big hit or a big play or a big pitch, and we've done that the last couple of years.
Fortunately, yeah. You've had this sustained success. You've been here 8 years at Millard West. You've made the state tournament every year. Like I said, 5 straight title games. What's the greatest threat to that sustained success?
Good question. Each year it's always a new adventure with what's the team going to look like, and especially with the new format as it is now, it's if you face somebody who maybe just has your number that day, you could easily not make that game. Or even in the district tournament, there's I've seen so many times where a good team throughout the year just happens to have a bad day, and they get beat by a couple pitchers, and all of a sudden you're not in the state tournament. So those regular season games are very important to make sure you have a good some good wild card points at the end of the year. So each year is a different adventure, but there's always teams out there that can come up and get you. We've been just fortunate not to have it happen to us, I guess. So.
Yeah, well, you lost the district final and then bounced back just fine.
Yep.
Made it a wild card, which that's why you play the whole season.
Yeah, exactly.
Fortunate for wild card.
Yeah. Yep. The last 2 years or 2 of the years that we won it, we didn't win districts.
Right.
So.
Yeah. I saw something recently, I guess, on command shouting from the stands. I don't know if you saw that or know what I'm talking about, but John Smoltz had a thing on command shouting, or parents yelling, command shouting. The parent involvement is great, but there's a line, right? You guys I don't think have this problem.
No, we don't. Our parents are great here.
Yeah, I'm not saying that you do.
I think it's more the expectation we ask of the parents at our parent meeting at the beginning of the year, where, they need to understand that, we're trying to do what's best for the team, and coaching from the stands isn't really the best way to prepare a team to win a game. So our parents have always been great, and I've never really had to deal with that issue. So
take care of it at the beginning.
Yes.
You won't have anything in the middle of it. A few changes to baseball that have happened. I guess the coach to catcher communication, and you guys, by the way.
Yeah, we use it.
Yeah. Well, your catcher's pretty undervalued.
Yeah.
I went to a lot of games this year. I told him after the
our
state
catchers were outstanding.
Yeah. I told him after a kid I'm talking about. I told him after the state championship game, I said, hey man, you don't get all the attention, but you had a pretty good year. That communication system has sped up the game a little bit. What other changes do you think could benefit maybe speed of play or just overall play in general?
Well, if it's possible to have communication with all our hitters, I mean that makes our lives a lot easier.
Right.
Being able to talk to the catcher, I know there's possible talk about that, but really just we have a time limit for in between innings, and I think that's helped quite a bit. It's been huge with the communication, and if there's any way where they don't have to step out and re-see a sign or re-hear a number, that would help out a lot. But I think they've done a lot to speed up the game.
Yeah, pitch counts are never going to happen in high school because everyone has to install them and just
that's
not going
to. It's expensive
to
do that kind of stuff.
That's just not happening.
Yeah.
We can, and unless an umpire has a stopwatch, which I don't think you want that to happen.
No.
Yeah. You've had some fantastic baseball players come through. Even, you look right now, we're recording this, super regionals are getting ready to start. Tyrol is a guy, Lodice is a guy that are playing the super regionals.
Yeah.
They played here. You have other really good players. You had one guy that gets a ton of headlines right now, Tyson Lewis.
Yeah.
But Nick Van Tiger was pretty good. Valdivia was pretty good. You had pretty good pitchers. How do you keep, I guess, managing that talent?
Well, first of all, to have that talent is
It's
nice,
pretty
of
good.
course.
Yeah.
But it kind of goes back to that, you know, with like a guy like Mike. He
Right.
was a shortstop, and we asked him to play a different position, and that's not always the easiest. So it always goes back to that, we're here for a common goal to win a state championship every year, and we need you to play a different role than what you're used to, and we've been fortunate enough to have those players, and I think a lot of times those players feed off each other and make other players better, and so you know going back to some of the guys we've coached, they were great kids, and they cared more about winning than what was going on with them, and we've been fortunate to have those type of players, and I know a lot of coaches from around the country, and it's not like that everywhere. So, that's just shows what the parents that we've had in our program, how they've done a great job raising their kids and teaching them life skills and values and stuff like that. So.
How do you limit, I guess, the distraction of, and mainly it's for, I just look at Tyson and he has 24 scouts that he came to this year.
Yeah.
I was like, I counted them one by one, and how do you limit those distractions? You've had that before, but the volume of those, how do you insulate, I guess?
Well, I think the first couple times that they're here, it's
No,
the guys are like, oh, yeah, that's interesting. I tell you what, Tyson did a really good job of, he just kind of tuning him out, and he was really great with, if we asked him to, during our hitting rounds, if we're trying to work on a hit and run or trying to score a runner, maybe put a bunt down in practice, he was all about trying to get better, and he knew that they were going to be around, and he knew he was going to fail and maybe not have a good day, but I think the big picture, just with him, each day coming in trying to get better, that kind of helped the other guys, and I'm sure it was fun for them to go like, hey, I wonder if that scout saw that line drive to right field.
Look, I just did that
right,
too,
so,
right?
Yeah, exactly.
He was, from an outside perspective, I wasn't here every day, but again, I saw, I don't know how many games, I feel like half your games this year. Felt like a pretty good leader. That you guys, like, pretty mature, and had a bunch of leadership qualities that teammates kind of rallied around, and he fit really well.
Oh, absolutely. He was a great role model, I guess, when it comes to just coming in and he knew he had to get better each day, and our whole team was like that.
Right.
They kind of fed off each other, and it was after the disappointment of last year that everybody knew that, hey, you can't come in and do what we did last year. We got to be better, and so Tyson was right there with all our guys on trying to get better each day. So, and that was huge for everybody.
You have this, like, now you have this kind of weird rivalry with Lincoln East. It's like it's not though. Like, you guys get along great. Like, it's not. There's no.
Well, with the changes in the summer baseball with Legion and travel ball, a lot of these kids are playing with each other.
Right.
So they're buddies, and they hang out all summer and possibly all fall. So. The hated rivalry, I guess, it's not really that like that anymore. So, if anything, they're trying to one up each other and say, hey, we got you in the spring, or maybe got you in the summer. But no, it's anytime you play those good teams, it kind of becomes a rivalry when you keep getting
play
back
each
to
other, and
absolutely,
and especially in big moments. Maybe it's a thing.
Like the last couple of years in those games.
Right. Those games were great.
Yeah.
Like, did you ever think that many people would be watching high school? The last 2 years, the crowds have been tremendous.
Well, yeah, after 2 years ago, and how crazy that was at UNO, and we were hoping that it would be the same kind of
3
atmosphere,
years,
and it was
north south, and then, it was crazy.
Yep.
Yeah, was it like a lot of people.
Yes. Yeah, a couple times it actually affects the game because you're trying to yell something out and they can't, they don't even know you're trying to talk to them. So you have to kind of figure a few of those things out as well.
Okay, last one.
Yep.
Wait, summer baseball Legion's changed so much because, travel ball is a thing now in Nebraska, which, hey, fine. Does it put a little more importance on the spring, or has that always been your focus? Spring is a little bit more important, or what is it?
For us, spring has always been, to me, honestly, more important. I love summer.
Right.
There's no school.
Right.
But
You're at the field all day long.
It's just such a different atmosphere because in the spring, it's a lot like college where every game is important. You're playing for that name on the, front of your jersey, and to have the fans there, I love that atmosphere.
Right.
Summer is a little bit more relaxed. We're still trying to get our work in and get ready, whether it's for next year or maybe some of these kids are trying to get ready for college. But to have 5,000 people watch you in a game, that doesn't happen in the summer. And it's just so much fun to have those our players experience a game like that.
All right, man. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yep.
A Hurrdat Sports Network production.